What is up, my friends in film fandom, wherever you may be, however you may be watching? Thank you so much for giving us just a little bit of your time. And it's game day, essentially. This is it. It's game day. Today, Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness finally drops. I am excited as hell at all the chaos that we're going to be dealing with. I know my co-hosts are as well. And my co-hosts are the Dowager Countess Lady Cora. How are you tonight, ma'am?
I'm great. I got a new headset. You sound amazing. Everything sounds better in this headset. And I wish I could go to the theater and watch Doctor Strange with this headset on. But I can't. But I will go see it all the same. Oh, yeah, I can't wait.
We will get our chance. We will get our chance. And one of the people that's going to be here to break it down with me on Monday is my hetero life mate, Jeremy. What's going on with you, my brother?
Oh, not much. I'm back from my little 2-week hiatus, I guess.
But you had a good time though. I mean, you got to go to that cool convention and like get to be pictured with famous people and shit like that, which I did not.
True. And for all you people, it is also. I mean, we weren't here on May the 4th, but it is in fact Revenge of the 5th.
Woohoo!
I did pull that out just for that reason. Actually, on this camera, it looks a lot like more real. That's wild. It's right here. It looks fake as shit, but hey. And, the red kind of looks like a lightsaber, as Cora said. But,
I love the blue. Who in Star Wars has blue? I don't keep track of this shit.
Well, this one...
blue
This one's Anakin Skywalker, Luke Skywalker, Rey. Finn even used this thing. Actually, technically, so did Han Solo. But this one's
Anakin's. Good guy.
Yeah, if it's blue, green, or purple, or even yellow now, or white, so to speak, it's all good people. Red's the bad guys. Hence the background.
Those are the cooler ones, though.
I know. It's my problem is like my heart says Jedi Knight, but my my emotional instability says Sith Lord. So I'm at a crossroads. I'm sorry.
Oh.
No, I have Mace Windu's in there, which would kind of technically be what would make sense because what happens when you mix red and blue, you get purple. That would be the balance right there.
Well, there's also there's also gray Jedi. Don't forget that.
True, but I think that's dumb. So whatever.
I hope they explore the gray Jedi moving forward. I think it'd be fun.
I think that might be what Rey's supposed to be. If that's the case, fine. Also, we've never seen the yellow saber outside the guards at the temple. And those aren't even really lightsabers; those are purger sabers. But I could talk about Star Wars this whole stream, but that's not what we're here for. So
maybe one day we will.
Oh, wouldn't that be awesome? Just a whole episode about Star Wars everything.
Hey.
Maybe one day we will, but I don't know. That day will come eventually.
May the 4th be with you next year. That could be a goal.
Could be. Maybe we just make all of next May kind of the Star Wars month. So we'll have to look into that.
Hey.
But there are plenty of things to go into today. And Lady Cora, what is the first story we're going to be talking about tonight?
Well, perhaps the biggest recurring theme in comedy over the last several years has been stand-ups lamenting that performing is no longer a creative safe space. This became a scary reality yesterday as a fan rushed comedian Dave Chappelle at a Netflix-sponsored show at the Hollywood Bowl in Los Angeles, tackling him to the ground. The suspect was held by security and turned over to local police and is facing misdemeanor charges. Frank, what do you think of the incident? And I just have to say, what a fucking idiot. So.
Well, yeah, it's terrifying. And, there's been a lot said the last, several weeks, really, since the Will Smith thing, that, about people just being able to approach the stage. Now, I think the Will Smith thing was a bit different because you're not really, I can't remember a time where another celebrity walked up on stage and assaulted a celebrity like that. So that's kind of a unique thing. But it has kind of brought up, especially with some other events that have happened that have been a lot more low-key over the last couple of weeks, the kind of danger that exists when you're on stage in front of people doing your act. We had talked about, I think a couple of weeks ago for CinemaCon, the guy went up there and served papers to Olivia Wilde, the custody papers, on stage.
Oh my goodness!
And I don't remember if I said it right then, but I said if it was on Derailed that we talked about it. But I said, this is a scary situation where you can just walk up on stage and get in someone's face. And while that ended up not being a very big deal, I mean, it was just being served custody papers. It was kind of classless, in my opinion, and not necessary, but that's just the way I saw it. That while that wasn't necessarily a big deal, it just highlights the fact that is a very real possibility for people who, do their stuff on stage. It's frightening. And what's even more frightening about it, now that I finally have a picture that I forgot to put on there and I can transition back to the main page, what's frightening about it is this is something that's actually been a problem for a long, long time. I mean, so, you've got the Will Smith, Chris Rock thing. Now, Cora, you might remember many years ago, Monica Seles, the tennis player, was stabbed in the middle of a tennis match.
Yes. Yes. We hear these stories, and it makes me think of that movie Roadhouse, where they have the stage wrapped in chicken wire. So when beer bottles get thrown at the band, they don't hit them with the glass.
Yeah.
Are we going to have plexiglass in front of stages whenever there's a live audience?
There's got to be something. I mean, because on top of that, and baseball fans might remember, I don't know if Drew's watching or not, but Drew being a Royals fan, remember, several years ago, a first base coach for the Royals was attacked by a father and son who had had too much to drink at a baseball game. They jumped right over the little, I mean, for those of you who have sat, on the field at a baseball game, the tickets I like to get.
They land on the dugout roof or something?
There's like a 2 or 3 foot little barrier there, and that's it. Any adult could jump right over that. They jumped on stage, and this drunken father and son beat the first base coach up. Then you had the thing with Olivia Wilde. Dimebag Darrell was shot on stage just an hour north of where we are right now, Jeremy. You have the girl Christina Grimmie, I think her name was, who was shot while she was signing autographs.
Yeah.
Grimmie. She was shot while signing autographs after a show. Not to mention, one of the things that us sports fans have always seen is we have seen many, many times streakers. Streakers still manage to find their way onto the field to do streaking. So
it seems like they happen a lot at soccer games. Have you noticed that?
True. It seems to be more soccer than anything else these days. I know the NFL every once in a while still has to deal with it, but it's
or
pretty
a black
rare.
Cat. But a black cat doesn't count as a streaker, does it?
I don't think so. I mean, animals are kind of their own thing, but yeah, this is what's up.
Oh, I was saying, and just now, what just happened at the Dayton Dragons game? The whole fucking fight broke out. Everybody flooded the fucking.
Was that what Rachel was talking about?
Yeah, she was there.
I thought she was talking about just like a bench clearing brawl that happens occasionally in baseball.
No, that was at the Dayton Dragons game just last night. Yeah, she was there. She caught it on film.
Oh, I thought that was just the players. I didn't know she was talking about people going onto the field.
I don't know who that was. There's just a bunch of people. Yeah, she just said the fight was wild. I don't know. All I saw was the benches just emptied. I'm like, well, I'm sure all the players, the managers, somebody went out there to stop them. But that's part of the problem. Is how do you keep giving fans a good experience while at the same time protecting not just the people on stage but the fans themselves? I don't know. I mean, I like the fact that I can go sit in the seats that I like to get at a baseball game, and I am 100 feet from home plate, and I can look to my right and see right down the Giants dugout or whatever team I'm sitting next to. I see right down their dugout and see all these ball players. Maybe I can get a wave or a thumbs up from one of them. It's all really cool, but at the same time, I don't want these people or anybody else to be in danger. And it seems like that's something that's kind of popping into people's minds now.
Is security an option, or is that too expensive?
Well, here's
you've got people that are usually. I mean, I've been to concerts over the weekend. There's a line of people right between where the pit is and then where the stage is. That's what I was
wondering, but that could get expensive, couldn't it?
It could, but I mean,
there's always security and stuff like this, but there's always a hole somewhere. Now, maybe that hole only exists for about 5 seconds. Maybe it's these two guards both turn the opposite way for half a second, and you can kind of squeeze in right between them to get to where you want to go. But, I mean, how much security do you need? I mean, do you really want the National Guard standing between the crowd and, 21 Pilots or whatever as they're doing a concert, or between the crowd and any comedian standing up on stage? It's a very sad thing to think that we're to this point. And what really gets me is they're not charging this guy with a felony. This guy had a knife on him and charged Dave Chappelle, and they're not charging him with a felony. They've actually kicked it back down to the city to file misdemeanor charges against him. And I'm like, good God, California, get your head out of your ass and actually start prosecuting people for shit. But, because that's where this happened, was at the Hollywood Bowl in Los Angeles. But this is dangerous. I mean, we have to not make it okay to where this kind of thing is happening. This is one of the things that was kind of a big fear coming out of the whole Will Smith Chris Rock thing, was that, you know, it's going to become acceptable for some people in their minds to react to some of this shit like Dave Chappelle might. Look, comedians, what they do is they take tragedy and they try to make fun of it. They are the ultimate examples of laughing instead of crying, because you have to take these things and you have to try to make light of them somehow.
Hello, Frank. I just lost you.
Okay, good. It wasn't just me.
Oh, what?
Okay, we lost Frank. Hold on.
You lost me.
Me and Cora can still hear each other. We can't hear you, Frank.
Hold on a second.
Yeah.
Let me go to Discord.
I don't know. Would this type of situation deter you from going to events, Jeremy? Because I don't know.
Well, I mean, I'm not the one being attacked, but you know, it was
like
still kind of
Rachel
ruined.
was at this event. She could have gotten caught up in it. I don't
Well,
know.
no, I'm saying, yeah, it wouldn't be a fun time.
Why won't
It would still kind of ruin the whole.
Yeah. It would make me
well-
think twice about wanting to get up close front to the stage.
I mean, yeah, but it's like you don't expect it. I was thinking about that too. I'm like, that's just scary. Like anybody could just come running up there at you and happen to anybody. Like I
Yeah.
mean, when I went to Rock on the Range, which is no longer, it's called Foot Mouth now. We were down on the floor, like in the pit, and it's getting later in the night, so like the more bigger bands started playing. So Korn started playing, and I was like, we're gonna
Mhm.
back up because I do not want to die in a mosh pit. People were gonna get wild. I'm like, all right, we're gonna back up. Nothing happened, but I'm just like, yeah, I just don't want to get someone who's having a great time and then start swinging and something happen. One thing I was thinking about was oh, Rachel can hear all three of us. That's weird. One thing I was thinking about that in my mind was the whole Kanye West going up there and taking the mic from Taylor Swift. It's like, that was just kind of rude, dude.
Yeah, I remember that and thinking at first it must have been a spoof thing. Probably like Chris Rock thought Will Smith was doing when he first came up on stage.
I think he thought he was just being funny, but I'm like, dude, you're no. Say what I said, Kanye. I don't
Frank,
like you.
should we? Okay, I'm gonna leave Discord and come back at the call. I don't want to
All right.
wait. I don't know if we should or not. Can't hear him, but Rachel can hear him.
Something wrong with my face there, Scott? Got a fucking problem with my face? I don't know if we just like lost his audio feed or something.
no. No, he's saying no.
Oh, there he is. Hello? We can hear you.
I can. Welcome us back, I suppose.
Well, that's
You
a very,
know,
that's a
before
very
we
weird
went-
thing Discord did. I had muted myself because I didn't want anybody in the stream like hearing me cussing at at the screen. But whatever.
I was hoping you didn't hit the mute button or something. Yeah. Okay.
Well, it's maybe we were talking about switching to Skype instead of Discord before you joined us, Jeremy. Maybe
Yeah.
we should think about that.
Maybe. That's kind of where we started. So.
But
Yeah,
but
so
basically, I made my point. It's like it's a scary situation. I mean, so how do you bridge that gap?
The window's still in our cameras, Frank. If you see it.
I don't know. This discourage you from going to events, Frank?
It doesn't discourage me. It's got me thinking,
Okay.
though. I mean, it's got me a little concerned. I know that one of my plans that I had wanted to do a couple of years ago was to take my youngest child to his first concert, my son Max. And, of course, pandemic came along and kind of screwed all that up. But now that we're hopefully getting to the end of this thing and we'll be able to start doing those things on a regular basis again, I'm kind of starting to think about it again. But now I've got this, and I'm like, I don't know if I want to buy. I have to think really, really hard about going to a thing like a concert or something like that, and especially when I want to. Now that my kids are getting older and starting to take them to stuff like this, do I really want to be third row at a comedian show or at a concert and have somebody jump up on stage and try some crazy shit like this? I don't want my kids to see that. I don't want to see it. I want to go there and enjoy these times and enjoy these places.
Right.
But I mean, it's a concern now.
Well, it discourages me from wanting to get those close to the stage seats. I won't lie. but I still want to go to events.
But
Fuck, slap this fucker into next week. You better watch your fucking mouth.
But well, Cora knows what to do. But
Yeah.
Oh, I do too.
But yeah, it's
so.
a dangerous situation. And then to top it off, I mean, I would imagine there was some kind of security there. This thing was put on by Netflix, and it was 2 or 3 days of all kinds of comedians. Like Jamie Foxx was there, Joe Rogan was there. I mean, all kinds of comedians were there. So I don't know. It's scary. I mean, you can't really go anywhere now. Look, there's been shootings at theaters, and it's something that I think about whenever I go see a movie. It's like I never know if some wild man's going to walk in there and say, you know, I'm going to go ahead and start acting a fool. And so that's why whenever someone walks in or out of a theater, I kind of look at them and I keep my eye on them and take my eye off the movie because I'm like I want to make sure this guy's not going to start some shit. And but that's the world we live in. We need to try to, I don't know, be better, people. Be better. Just don't be stupid. Now, I have heard that this guy was a homeless guy who probably has some mental issues. So I don't want to demonize the guy too much because it may be something like that. So I don't want to just say, okay, let's go ahead and throw this guy over the you know, in jail and do whatever and so on and so on and so on. But I mean, so I want to be a little considerate of this guy, but at the same time, it's like I said. I mean, Will Smith, Chris Rock, Monica Seles at first base coach, Olivia Wilde, Dimebag Darrell. This is something that's been an issue off and on for a while. So maybe it's time that we start addressing this the way it needs to be addressed. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But,
I agree.
I don't know. Do you guys have any final thoughts on this before we move on to the next topic?
I think you're going to start seeing whenever you order tickets or buy tickets to something, signing some type of thing that, you know, if you start acting a certain way, you agree to being ejected. There's got to be some type of, you know, disclosure thing that I think is probably about to come into play.
I hate to think that we're going to get to the point where we have to sign waivers to go to see a movie or to go watch a show at a comedy store.
Sad, but lawyers are going to be all over this.
You don't expect to go into Batman and end up getting shot in a theater. So
now, I think that what you're going to probably end up seeing is you're going to end up seeing.
Oh, Scott, suck my dick. You're fucking pathetic. No, he's got 2 accounts because he's a. I'm gonna fuck. Hey, what I just said. He's so mad. He's trying so hard.
In TV shows.
Trying so hard.
In news.
My point that was gonna be is fuck around and find out, and he's learning that the hard way.
Well,
hope you enjoyed it.
Well, thanks for the views, the interaction. I appreciate it.
I know.
Usually, I don't.
That's why I was just.
Usually, I don't have a problem with these guys, and I'm kind of happy about
that.
That
is why I was just
and not fuck with them, but whatever. But
I was feeling the fire because that puts us up the algorithm. Thank you.
Yeah, moving back on to important stuff and not trolls. Yeah, I hate to think that we're getting to the point where we have to start signing waivers saying that if you come to the show, then you might see someone get shot, or you might see someone get attacked, or you might be in the middle of some crazy thing. Now, as far as security is concerned, I mean, yeah, security costs money, and yeah, part of that's going to get passed along to us in ticket prices, and I'm okay with that being a part of ticket prices, but I mean. The problem is now that we have to double security because some homeless guy with a problem decides he wants to try to tackle Chappelle on stage, or some guy walking to a theater acting like an asshole or whatever it's going to ruin the experience, And doubling security is going to make it feel like I'm not going to a movie as much as I am going to a prison. I don't want to feel uncomfortable going to a theater. I don't want to feel uncomfortable going to a show. That's the part that I'm not fond of, because like I said, I already feel like I have to keep an eye on people whenever I go out in public because so many people go out in public and act like assholes. So, I mean, I don't know. Jeremy, you got any final thoughts on this?
No, I don't. You don't want to have to go through this kind of thing or have security, but you don't expect this kind of thing to happen. I don't know. You shouldn't have to, he's a celebrity. I get it. There's probably some level of security, but it's like, you never know.
Yeah.
I wouldn't, I thought about it too. I'm like, that'd be scary. I'm like, you never know when that kind of thing's going to happen. And especially if you're a celebrity, that's kind of terrifying because, people know who you are. And some idiot just comes up on stage, tries to rush your ass. Like, Jesus. I mean, I do appreciate his first words was like, I'm going to kill that motherfucker. And he's like, "No, he's back there getting stomped." And he comes out, he's like, "Yeah, it's a good thing he's clumsy." He wasn't even fazed by it. That's what made me laugh.
Yeah, but don't act like a fool. That's kind of the underlying message to all these people is don't act like a fool. Again, I don't want to throw this guy under the bus too much because he does apparently have some mental problems from what I've heard. Help. I hope he gets healthy and he leads a better life. But this is just not a good look. You just don't do stupid shit like this. It doesn't work.
It's going to get to a point where persons who are doing comedy shows, security guard literally sitting on a stool right next to them, so someone comes
Right.
You want to know what the big fell off to even trying it? Did you see the picture of the guy as they were loading him into the ambulance?
Oh, he was
Shit mixed.
Yeah, he did.
He took an ass whooping all the way up and all the way down one side of his body. It's like his arm is all twisted out like this. It's broken.
Yeah.
Like they had fucked his shoulder or something up real bad, so his arm couldn't like come back here. He was all out here. This one whole side of his face, his right side of his face, was all swollen. His eye was swollen shit. I mean, that guy got absolutely shit mixed.
Yeah,
But
don't fuck with Chappelle.
yeah,
man.
don't. And dude, that's what's funny. Look, seriously, Chappelle is not a small man. We were just talking about this.
No.
Guy hits the gym regularly. It's like he's not that wimpy little guy that scrawny little guy that we saw in Robin Hood Men in Tights. This guy is ripped. Chappelle is a strong, very healthy man. I wouldn't want to throw hands with him. Not at all.
The best little GIF, little clip of Chappelle. The best thing to describe that is "Gotcha, bitch."
Gotcha, bitch. But yeah,
That's what happened.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to fuck with him anyway. But I don't know. That's just me. But let's go ahead and move on to our next topic right now. And Lady Cora, exactly what is that today?
Well, it's something I'm curious about finding out why, but I guess we'll find out in time. 2 directors have left big-name franchises in the last few days. John Watts will no longer be directing the upcoming Fantastic Four film. Watts, who helmed the massively successful Spider-Man Homecoming, Spider-Man Far From Home, and Spider-Man No Way Home for Sony Pictures and Marvel Studios, has withdrawn from the Marvel Cinematic Universe project. He said in a statement, "Making 3 Spider-Man films was an incredible and life-changing experience for me. I'm eternally grateful to have been part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe for 7 years. I'm hopeful we'll work together again, and I can't wait to see the amazing vision for Fantastic Four brought to life." Jeremy, what do you think of John Watts moving on from Fantastic Four?
Leaving Fantastic Four?
The director. He just quit.
Well, also, why... First of all, why is our shit spinning constantly?
I don't know.
It's just I was listening to the question, but I was also looking at her. I'm like, it's just spinning, spinning.
I do not know.
Froze.
I just noticed that myself while she was reading, and I was trying to look at the stream.
Like I said, we've got the input window between your camera and mine. Stream. It's not over here, obviously, but the input device you were using for your microphone is split between our 2 cameras.
Huh.
Weird. Amber Heard is snorting coke. What?
Surprise, surprise.
Drew sent me a clip of a video someone got while she was on the stand. It looked like she was wiping her nose with the tissue, but it could be interpreted that she was snorting coke. She was very quickly.
She'd be powdering her nose. You know, that metaphor.
Yeah, I don't understand why directors quit last minute. It makes me wonder if something's about to come out about them, like some Me Too or some type of allegations, and they're trying to get ahead of it or something. I don't know.
Also, I wonder if that little shithead's trying to like dox us or something because it's adorable. He talks about trying to poke people like, "Huh, you're mad, bro."
Don't even worry about them. I don't even talk about those fools.
I'm just like, I don't know if he's trying to fuck with our shit now. I'm like, that'd be hilarious if he was really trying.
I don't think he is. I think we're pretty much back right now. But yeah, I don't know what's going on with the stream.
I don't know, man. Fucking, you can eat my ass. Anyway,
John Watts moving on from Fantastic Four.
Oh, hello. I can hear us.
We're good right now. Keep going. Okay. Talk about John Watts. Go ahead, Jeremy.
Anyway, go fuck yourself. So, this guy leaving Fantastic Four, is this supposed to be... You know what? I thought it was kind of annoying how many times we, I guess, rebooted Spider-Man. But I'm like, oh my god, we are trying again with this. This is, what, 3rd time? Is this supposed to be 3rd time's a charm? I don't know. There's multiple reasons why you could leave. I don't know. Did he just not believe it anymore? To me, I'm like I want to see a good Fantastic Four. I don't know. I didn't think.
I think the first one was fine enough. They're gonna have
Yeah.
to seriously do some good planning and writing and put a new spin on it to even make it better. I think.
I didn't hate the original. No, I mean,
I liked it.
It was good for its time, and honestly, Silver Surfer, I actually didn't think was bad.
Yeah.
And then that one they tried, I was like, I just looked at it and I was like, that is going to be an absolute dumpster fire. And
It was not a good film. I tried really hard to like it, but it was just not that good.
I didn't even try to watch it, so you are a stronger man than me. I just looked at it once and I'm like, at a trailer or something, like, that looks like shit. I'm not gonna put myself through that. So that's what I was worried about with this, is I'm like, that's not a good sign. However, we don't really have seen much of this, so I don't know. And also, this may, spoiler for one of my Doctor Strange predictions, I'm like, could this maybe be a segue into that? Were we maybe setting that up with a little multiverse thing? I don't know.
I like the way you're thinking.
Because I'm like, why would that be?
John Campea came up with a bit of a theory the other day. He said that because it was so nonchalant how it happened, that he thinks that he's stepping aside for a bigger role in Marvel.
Okay.
I tend to agree with what Campy was saying, because here's the deal. I know I've tried really, really hard to avoid the spoiler stuff for this film. Some things have found their way in front of my eyes. There's not really any way to help it. So I know some things about this film.
Yeah.
He says that, and this is a theory that he has, and I kind of liked it. It makes sense, that John Krasinski is actually going to direct this.
Weren't we also saying that John Krasinski was supposed to be Mr. Fantastic?
Look, I've been saying for a long, long time, when we get news that somebody is it's down to 2 people to play X role, that usually by the time we get that news, the deal has already been signed with somebody. They don't have to announce it right away, because they want to try to keep things close to their vest as much as they can. So I think what happened, and I've been saying this for a long time, I think John Krasinski signed on to play Mr. Fantastic probably a year or more ago. Probably a lot longer than that, because a lot of things got pushed back because of the pandemic. So I think for maybe the last year or 2, he's already been under contract with Marvel to play Reed Richards. So I think part of that deal was that he was going to direct a Fantastic Four film and star as Reed Richards. Because let's face it, Krasinski can direct a fucking movie. A Quiet Place movies are really, really good. And they are very, very good. I haven't seen the second one yet, but the first one I thought was very well done. It's really hard as a director to make such a great, intense movie with so little dialogue. I mean, to not be able to say anything? I know it's a horror movie, Cora, so it may not be in your wheelhouse.
No. I like psychological thrillers, but some people say are horror movies. The Village is one of my favorites. I just and Signs. Yeah.
So what I think,
that's 2 Shyamalans. I'm starting to. Oh, don't.
Yes. So what I think is probably happening.
That's not psychological horror. That knock something over. That's not psychological horror. That's just, look at me. I did a cool thing once. I'm gonna keep doing it. Do you like me still? Do you like it? Did you get it?
Yeah. So what I think is probably happening is, and I'll put a few bucks on this if somebody wants to. I think Krasinski's going to take over as the director of Fantastic Four, and I think that John Watts is going to be directing the first X-Men movie.
Ooh, they're just moving him, and that's why he's just kind of saying this, over the top. I can't wait to see what's next. I can't wait to work with you again.
Well, there's a very...
It almost sounds like a cover letter.
We haven't talked about the second director yet, but there's a big difference between this situation and the Justin Lin situation, which we're going to talk about here in a minute. Is this situation, it seems very amicable. Not to mention, John Watts has already got a working history with Kevin Feige. I mean, because Kevin Feige himself has been with Marvel since forever. I mean, he was the producer on the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man stuff. And not to mention, John Watts has had great success with this Spider-Man. He's probably looking at him and saying, hey, I've got some stuff I want you to do in the future. How about we work this out? So I think that's what's going to happen. I'd imagine, and it may come a lot sooner than I would under normal circumstances I would say it would. But I would say that in the next week or so, they're going to announce John Krasinski as the director of Fantastic Four.
I like it.
And I think it's going to happen because, and here's bold prediction number 1, he's in Doctor Strange. I really do think that.
Just take my whole list, why don't you?
Yeah, just here.
That was one of them.
Take my money. Here's my tickets right now for whatever Fantastic Four movie you make. Here's $100. Just book me 5 or 6 tickets to the nearest theater on opening night because I'm ready to go. But yeah, I think that's what's happening. I think John Watts has said, I think they're just moving some players around. I think they're just moving some pieces around the board. I think John Watts is going to take over the X-Men. Krasinski's going to take over Fantastic Four, and Phase 4 is off to a balls out start. That's what I think is happening.
I like it.
That's just my guess.
Big John Krasinski fan. I love what he did with that good news thing on YouTube during the pandemic, and that prom thing he did for the kids who couldn't go to prom.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy, he's loved him in The Office to begin with, but there's something really feel good and entertaining, and there's a brilliance about him when it comes to ideas for film. So if they can put him into some Marvel, I will take it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what's happening. I really hope the stream's going well right now because I'm getting like mixed stuff on all of my devices right here. But yeah, I really think that's what's happening, and I'm totally fine with it. Totally fine with it. But I don't know. I'll go into some of the reasons why I think it's probably going to happen as we go into our Doctor Strange predictions later on. But yeah, I think that's what's going to happen. I don't think it's that big of a deal. I actually think it's a good thing. I think Kevin Feige's putting pieces in place to make sure that Phase 4 hits hard and it does great. I think that's what he's doing. But I don't know, Jeremy, any final thoughts on you before we move on to the next one?
Please make a good Fantastic Four movie. Holy shit, please.
I think they will.
I have more faith in it if that is what's actually behind it. I'm ready to. I don't know. It was like what 2004 or some shit when that first one came out. Wasn't bad for its time, but hey, we're bringing him back. I mean, because Frank even tried to.
Wasn't the girl in the set? She started selling soap or something.
What?
Like she created a whole line of soap and home products. Jessica Alba.
Oh, I thought you meant like the new girl. I'm like, I don't touch that movie with a.
I think she was. I think she was like a spokesperson for one of the shampoos or some shit. I don't know.
Oh,
at least it wasn't the weird shit Gwyneth Paltrow has been doing. I'm
not buying a great deal of shampoo these days, so.
Oh, come on! That's what gives you a nice little steam.
But I think she was just a spokesperson for I don't know whatever shampoo line. I don't know. But
no, I was gonna say the only thing because Frank, you were saying way back in was it WandaVision? You were like, "Oh, I have a scientist friend." You're like, "Reed Richards?" I'm like, "That'd be cool." Seems a little early for that, but that'd be cool. I don't know. With Wanda coming back now, maybe.
Yeah.
This might be the one.
Maybe we'll find out. But yeah, let's move on now to the other director that is going to be making that made a very unceremonious.
the less than gracious leaving. I'm sure his quitting letter didn't sound like the last one.
Probably not.
In what is a much messier split, Justin Lin on Tuesday announced that he was stepping out of his role as director for the upcoming Fast X. Episode 25 of 50 for Fast and Furious, just days into production. Production so far has been second unit filming, which will remain the focus as an immediate director search is undertaken. Fast X will see longtime Fast and Furious franchise stars Vin Diesel, Michelle Rodriguez, Tyrese Gibson, Chris Ludacris Bridges, and Sung Kang returning. Franchise newcomers including Jason Momoa, who is set to play the villain in the movie, as well as Brie Larson. Frank, what do you think this means for the Fast franchise? Let's hope it dies!
It's a fucking train wreck. It's one thing for, like I said, for Kevin Feige and the people at Marvel to look at John Watts and say, hey, we have an idea, we want to throw this at you, we're going to give you this, we're going to move you pieces around the board. That keeps him involved, it keeps him making money, it lets him get super creative. This thing with Justin Lin, though, look, there's a reason why I put the RIP Fast and Furious franchise on the board today. This whole thing has become an absolute dumpster fire. Now, Justin Lin has basically has built this into the juggernaut that it is. Even though I am 100% certain that this franchise should have stopped with Paul Walker's death. They've managed to make money out of them. But you got to wonder where that money's come from. If you think about it, and this is according to the numbers.com, and I think I put the link to this in the description. Only two Fast and the Furious films have made more than $1 billion at the box office. That was Fast 7 and Fast 8. Fast 7 made that kind of money because that was Paul Walker's last film, and I think that his death probably drew a lot of people to that movie. The other one, Fast 8, was the one that people were wondering how they were going to continue the story without Paul Walker's character of Brian O'Connor. But after that, they haven't really done anything. Hobbs and Shaw came out pre-pandemic and only made $700-something million. I mean, I say that like it's not a lot of money, but when you're looking at a franchise that every movie the budget keeps going up, but you're not really going up in box office take, with the exception of those two that had kind of these weird extenuating circumstances, you've got to stop and ask yourself, is this franchise still really, is it viable? But that's the other thing. And to top it all off, look, Vin Diesel's had problems with a lot of people. He had a problem with Tyrese a long time ago. Then it's the whole blow up between him and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Now it's this. It's like, dude, seriously, I know that this is your money-making franchise, but if you gave some of your other shit half the attention that you gave the Fast and the Furious, you could have 3 or 4 franchises out right now that were kicking ass. He's had Bloodshot, which did not do what they wanted it to do. He had the Triple X movies, which the first one I actually really like. I think it's really fun and really underrated.
Never saw those. Is it worth watching?
They're kind of a fun, like, X Games version of James Bond. It's kind of ridiculous. Just embrace the ridiculousness of the movie, and I think you'll enjoy it. The second one I think could have been a lot better, but he didn't want to come back for that when he wanted too much money. They told him to piss off, and they gave it to Ice Cube. The Last Witch Hunter was, a lot of people thought it was a pretty decent concept. But again, he didn't really put the time into it. The Chronicles of Riddick. He's made 3 of those movies, and none of those movies have really popped off the way that he wanted them to do. But he keeps running back to the Fast and the Furious. This is my moneymaker. It's the brainless action that everybody's going to go and see. So I'm going to go ahead and keep pouring all my attention to this. Dude, stop. Leave this damn franchise. Let it go. Go put some of this energy into something else. Because this guy's got a lot of extensive interests and stuff. And he's actually a really good actor. He's been good in a lot of things. Early in his career, he was really good. The Knockaround Boy.
I've never heard of him, I'll be honest.
The Knockaround Guys that he did a long time ago with like Seth Green and Giovanni Ribisi is a fantastic movie. And this was before Fast and Furious and all this other bullshit. He is actually a really good actor. He was great in Saving Private Ryan. I mean, even though his part wasn't a big one, and he's only really in half the movie, he was great in that. He was great in this movie called what's it called? Sue Me or something like that, or Indict Me or something like that, which he actually wrote and produced. He's actually really good in that as well. But these Fast and the Furious movies, they're getting ridiculous. Stop putting all your energy into this ridiculous bullshit, and then try to make it watchable just because it's your only moneymaker. So, dude, let it go. Let it go. I don't understand why he keeps doing this. But I mean, seriously, at what point do we just look at all this conflict with his co-stars and say that Vin Diesel is the obvious problem? Not only that, but it seems to be on April 23rd that Justin Lin had a major disagreement with Diesel, and it ended with a meeting with Diesel and other producers that ended with a slam door and him saying, "This movie is not worth my mental health," and Justin Lin just walked out of the movie.
I wonder if he suggested they kill off his character. So they can't make any more movies. And he got pushed out. It
doesn't seem to matter since Paul Walker died. They're like, we're going to keep going.
And then to top it off, this movie's getting fucking expensive. Look, I've said it a bunch of times, if you take the budget of a movie, most times you have to multiply it by 2. And that's what a movie's going to have to make at the box office to earn a profit. So for a $300 million movie, which is where this is getting, you have to make about
DVD and like digital purchases, or is that just box office in person?
It's mostly box office, but I know they factor stuff like secondary media into that as well. But you're thinking this movie's gonna have to make, if it ends up with a $300 million price tag, this movie's gonna have to make around $600 million at the box office to be profitable. And if it makes $750 million, that's good, but you only made $150 million off this big investment of time, this big investment of money, this big investment of having to deal with Vin Diesel and his bullshit about how seriously he takes this character and this franchise. Is $150 million really gonna be enough money? Profit, pure profit. Is that really going to be enough money? It just doesn't make any sense to me that you're going to keep making these movies. I got to be honest.
Can't the studio put that money into some other project that might be maybe more interesting to the audience?
Well, they could, but you got to remember, Vin Diesel's the one that's kind of driving this thing. And it's making good money for the production company, but they don't want to be seen. They don't want to be the company that kills Fast and the Furious because it's been a big.
So we need to find him another gig, basically, so he'll get off of this.
I think The Rock needs to give him a fucking pile driver and knock some sense into his ass, because it seems to me like the entire problem around this has been Vin Diesel.
Get him a WWE contract.
And then to top it off, it's like the budget is creeping upwards of $300 million. With $100 million coming from above the line costs, including stars' salaries, which all of the stars are getting somewhere from 7 to 8 figures.
That's crazy.
So it's dumb. It's just dumb. But yeah, the Fast and Furious franchise to me is just dead. It needs to go away. I just think it needs to stop. Jeremy, what do you think?
Patiently waiting. Apparently our picture is frozen, but our sound is fine.
Well, if they can hear us, that's the most important thing, right?
Yeah, I'll work on it after this one's over.
Yeah, but apparently our shit's just straight frozen. Always, you can tell how much I give a shit about the Fast and the Furious, given by my answer.
And this was before.
You know what? I applaud this guy because I was like, you know what? Maybe it's finally over. We can all hope.
Yeah, yeah. At what point do we just?
I'm so done with these movies.
Yeah, look, he needs to go. Look, Vin Diesel, and that's the other thing is, Vin Diesel's not 30 anymore.
No,
he's in his 50s now. When he was 32,
just so hard to believe.
When he was 32, well, but look, this whole franchise has been kind of hard to believe for the last 3 or 4 movies anyway. Like I said, when Paul Walker was still around, when he was still alive, this stuff was still very grounded. But I feel like Vin Diesel thought that without Paul Walker, without Paul Walker around, I feel like I have to make this a little more chaotic and crazy to try to keep drawing people in, because a big piece of the chemistry is gone. So now I have to find a way to compensate. So what am I going to do? I'm going to put Tyrese and Ludacris in a fucking Fiero, hook a bunch of rockets to them, and fly them into space. Because that makes perfect sense. Because why not? Because Paul Walker would have been totally cool with this. Nah.
If he was still alive, do you think you would be less... Do you think it'd be better if they were still making movies? If he was alive, it would be fine, or do you think you'd still be as annoyed that they keep making the movies?
I think that
if Paul Walker still good.
I think that Paul Walker would have looked at him and been like, "Bro, really?" It's like, really?
It'd be very different movies, though. I think what I'm thinking is it would actually still have been good. You just said it. The big part of the chemistry between Dominic Toretto and fucking Paul Walker.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of the whole. As much as we've beaten those memes to death about family, I'm like, look, that's the whole thing. I get so sick. It's like a dumb little tick in my head. I hear his dumbass voice be like, family. I got friends. I got family. I can't even do his voice. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, Rachel. Hey, you don't have to accept your family. They chose their family. That's the difference. You don't choose your actual family. God damn it. No.
Look, this thing needs to be done. And from what I've read, it's not just that Vin Diesel's being a pain in the ass. Now, part of it was this production did run into a couple problems that are not Vin Diesel's fault. They actually had to completely rearrange some European shooting because of the stuff going on in the Ukraine. So that's not anybody's fault. But
damn it, Putin!
It got to damn you, Putin. But it got to the point where, Justin Lin, who wrote the movie and is going to remain in a production credit role, has said that he had the script and everything written out, got there, and he got to the point where Vin Diesel was like, okay, yes, no, yes, we're going to insert this, we're going to take that out. And he was like, but we've already got this shit set up. We can't make these changes now. Right now, it's supposedly costing the production upwards of $1 million a day to keep the crews and locations on standby.
Wow.
Yeah, making a movie is not a cheap thing.
Ridiculous.
Making a movie on this scale is not a cheap thing. So, I don't know. I can't side with Diesel on this anymore. It's like part of me is just like, okay, this is his baby. I kind of get it. But then the other part of me is like, dude, if you want this to stay alive.
Here's the other thing, Frank. He's going to keep making them. Let this one be made the Justin Lin way and do the next one, whatever.
But that's the thing.
He wants to envision it.
He needs to be smart enough to do this the Justin Lin way anyway, because Justin Lin is the one that came in and blew this franchise up. He came in about the time The Rock did, and all the movies that he did are all the ones that have climbed the box office. So he's the one that turned this into the juggernaut that Vin Diesel's been able to enjoy. Whereas, like F. Gary Gray did one that was really good. I forget who did the first couple. But, yeah, Justin Lin is the one that has come in and made this franchise what it is today. And he's over there trying to shit on Justin Lin like, oh, no, we're going to do this all as my ideas. It's like, dude, my ideas are what made this franchise what it is, especially after Paul Walker's death, is one of the things that helped kept it going. But, I don't know. I want this to be it. I want it to be done. I want Vin Diesel to move on to other things, because like I said, he's a pretty good filmmaker and a really good actor. I want to see him put all this effort, all this concentration into some other product and try to make something good with that.
Maybe he should revamp Sesame Street.
I'll take
Be
that
the new
over Fast
Big Bird
11.
in the shape of a car.
I'd take that over Fast 11. I'd go watch a 2-hour-long Sesame Street movie with Vin Diesel talking about family. That can't be... I mean, I would imagine that Fast 11 is going to be 10 times more laughable. Because I finally, for the first time a few weeks ago, actually sat and watched Fast 9. That movie's not good. It's got zero substance. I mean, sometimes I'm okay with action movies just being action movies and not relying... and like The Expendables. I've said it a bunch of times. I like the fact that movie doesn't pretend
I love
to be what it's
those
not.
movies.
But he's trying to act like these are Oscar-worthy movies. Like he's putting so much depth of character and so much story. No! The cars aren't even a character in these movies anymore. That's one of the things I liked about the first couple of movies. The cars
ain't even about the 10-second car anymore.
Yeah. They don't even care about that. That's not even a part of who they are anymore.
Maybe they should switch to making animated versions for kids.
Well, I think the last couple of movies have been cartoonish enough, so...
You know what? I was a kid when the original one came out, man, and I was playing Need for Speed on my PlayStation 2, and I thought, oh, this was the coolest shit in the world. And then I was like, wow, this got really dumb really fast. You put that dumb pedal right to the floor. God.
Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, Jeremy, Cora, do you guys have any closing thoughts on this before we move on?
Let it die. Just
I'm proud of you for leaving.
Do something else.
Take the hint, Vin.
I am so much Jamie Lee Curtis on this one at the beginning of the last Halloween movie. It's like I'm walking away and I'm like, let it burn! Let it burn! I'm so done. I'm just tired.
If there was like a release valve for the money for this movie, I would reach up and steal it and let the money just all drip out and then I have no money to spend it. I'm done with these. I've only seen a few of them, and I don't want to see the rest of them. I mean, I will watch the very last one when they're absolutely done, because I'm curious how they'll kill off or what they do with Vin Diesel's character. But until we're confirmed it's the very last one, or is this going to be like Halloween for 30 years? We keep waiting for the last one. I don't know.
Well,
it would be a cult.
I think Rachel put her finger right on the chat. She's either you die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself make terrible movies.
Maybe if we put together me,
man, you were here. You died a hero to me in Saving Private Ryan. God damn it, you were doing a good thing.
Yeah.
Fuck, and then look what you did. Sorry, spoiler alert for everybody who hasn't seen that movie. If you haven't, know what the fuck you're doing with your life. But no, it'd be a culture shock to, well, not a culture shock, but it'd just be a shock to my senses if I because I stopped at Tokyo Drift. If I just went and saw the last one now, I'd be like, what? Because I really have not seen, I know what happens, but I haven't sat down and watched them. So I'm like, I know they're ridiculous, but damn, if I actually sat and tried to put myself through that, I don't know if I could do it. I couldn't even get through, what was it, the third Transformers movie. I'm like, what the fuck are we doing? God, my mind just like, I can feel it melting watching that movie. I'm like, God, what's going on anymore? What? Autobots.
Like Frank says,
Yeah.
if it's going to make money and give them enough to
That doesn't mean you
have
keep
money on the side to gamble on something they're not sure that will make money, they'll keep making these franchise movies. So we just have to stop going to the theaters and seeing them to make a point to the studios. Correct, Frank?
Yeah, but there's plenty of people out there who want the mindless stuff. And don't get me wrong, I like the mindless stuff sometimes too.
Yeah.
But there has to be just enough substance to kind of balance it all out, at least. And that's something that the Expendables has. It has just enough substance to kind of make it all palatable.
Yeah, that's goofy, but like...
They did stop with 3.
Yeah.
Remember that.
Actually, they're making a 4th one.
No.
The 4th one apparently is either filming right now or they just wrapped filming fairly recently. But yeah, the 4th one's coming out.
I really thought they'd stopped with 3, but
like I said, there's a difference between what Fast and Furious has become and the Expendables. The Expendables knows what it is. It doesn't play around like it's something else. Yeah. It gives us exactly what it promises. A bunch of one-liners, some explosions, the kind of buddy-buddy, action-y, gunfire stuff. I mean, it doesn't pretend to be anything it's not. Vin Diesel, I think, actually thinks he's putting out great cinema right now with these Fast and Furious movies. I think that he does not realize that these characters have evolved way beyond anything they should ever have evolved into.
It'd be people in his real family.
And now they're caricatures of themselves. I don't think he understands that they are now caricatures of what they once were. They're silly now. But there's a lot of mindless people who just want to see Vin Diesel do Vin Diesel stuff, and they want to see fast cars, and they want to feel like they're part of it, and they like the jump cuts and the action-y stuff, and they want to see Michelle Rodriguez, in that tank top, because she looks really good, and she can kick someone's ass, and who doesn't think that's hot about a woman, It's, actually...
That's how you really feel, Frank.
Actually, Louis, we did get a Triple X Part 3. It's called The Return of Xander Cage, and that movie was not that good.
Oh, boy.
That movie was not that good. I thought it was okay, but it wasn't all that great. I don't know. Any final thoughts on this before we move on? Jeremy, how about you?
Talked about it for too long because it's so easy to talk about things that, I don't know. I hope it's the last one.
Me too.
Drive off a fucking cliff. Jesus.
Yeah, maybe next time one of these stunts doesn't work and your car actually, falls 200 feet down a ravine and
oh no, we don't want to wish anyone harm, but
not Vin Diesel, Dom Toretto. He doesn't really exist. It's okay. I can want him to die.
Okay.
Not Michelle Rodriguez though. I'm in love with her. She's one of my celebrity crushes.
No, I didn't catch that earlier from your description there of her.
Yeah. but before we move on, I do want to remind you guys, and since I forgot to do this a little bit ago, we do have a Patreon. And if you support our channel for just $5 a month on Patreon, link in the description below, you'll get a chance to win yourself $25 in free movie tickets that we give away in the middle of every month. I think we're a couple weeks away from doing it this month. What that does is just gets people going back out to the movies. We're not trying to beef up the box office for any one movie. We're trying to get people back out there supporting the people who work at the box office, who work at the concession stand. Just get back out there and enjoy movies. We are now pretty much at a full slate from here on out of releases. Movies are doing great at the box office again because people are feeling more and more comfortable going out there and sitting with other people. And as we get closer and closer to the end of the pandemic, I think it's just going to get that much better. Let's go out there. Let's have the theater experience. And we're going to give you a chance to go do that by giving away 20
limousine and some serious mobster Godfather-esque bullshit. He just he didn't really realize how messed up he. Let me introduce you to Justin. And he turns around. He's got his little fucking newsboy cap on. I don't know, he says some shit in Spanish and just caps him right in the car. I was like, whoa, what? And then just ends there. I'm like, oh, okay. So I'm like, there's still possibly more. We have this third personality inside of him. I don't know. It was fun. It got really deep. I had to actually catch up on the other 2 episodes that I missed, admittedly. It got really dark and really deep and emotional there for a second. I was like, God damn, that I wasn't ready for that. I wasn't expecting that whole thing with his brother. And then I was like, okay, now it's popping off because now we're at we're in the end game now, as we say. I'm excited to see more if there's more. Or if I thought about it for a hot second, in the middle of some fight scene, I was like, when this takes place or where this is going on, because now we have the multiverse. So I'm like, does it matter? Or are we gonna Tom Hardy this? What are yeah, that's my praise for it. Now are we gonna? Here he comes. There he goes. I don't know. I don't know. Is this current or is it? I don't know.
Just talking about this episode alone, I thought it was exciting as hell. I love the idea of having Khonshu and the other god, the alligator-looking thing. I forget its name already.
Amit.
Amit, yeah. I love the idea of Khonshu and Amit in giant form fighting against the against the skyline of Cairo, while Moon Knight and Harrow are down on the ground in human size, having their little fight. I thought that was an amazingly fun thing to watch. I did love the fact that his girlfriend, I want to call her Lily. I know that's not right. Layla, yeah. I love the fact that she kind of got taken over by the hippo goddess, which I think is fantastic. I think it's
the hippo goddess is amazing. Let's just say that.
And very, very fun to watch. She is a little bit of comic relief that came in towards the end that kind of kicked things up a notch.
She's so much fun.
I thought that was a lot of fun. But
I mean, kudos to the actress too. When she was doing the thing where she was like taking over her body, like, oh my god, this is gonna be so much fun. And she's like, duh, can you not do that anymore? She's like, okay, just one more time. Like just back and forth between these two personalities. I'm like, okay, that's funny to watch. It's pretty impressive.
Yeah. I thought the whole episode was fun as hell. I love the ending. I love the way everything played out. But the big question is it leaves a lot open, and there's a lot of confusion as to whether this is going to be a series that gets a second season, or whether Moon Knight is even used in the larger MCU. Because as far as anybody has reported, as far as Disney has let out, they only signed Oscar Isaac for one season of this thing, and I feel like they're setting him up to be more of a series thing with Moon Knight than they are to make him a big part of the cinematic stuff. I mean, there's certainly places that he could fit in the movies, but I feel like they've got him set up more than anything else to be more of a Disney Plus series thing and not a big part of like the Avengers or the Marvel stuff. I mean, they have the Dark Avengers out there that they could do. He could be one of them. They have Marvel Knights, which he could become a part of. Now, granted, they've not announced they're doing any of this shit. I'm just kind of spitballing here. But, I mean, so there's opportunities to use him in the larger universe, but I feel like they're just building him to be a Disney Plus series, which is fine by me, as long as we get more of him. My only real knock on this thing is, man, this season needed to be way more than 6 episodes. I mean, there was so much here. This needed to be at least 8 or 9. I feel like they could have done so much more with it. I mean, I'm glad I got what I got. But yeah, I'm curious to see where they go from here. Whether they make it just a series thing, or if he moves into the MCU, I'm not sure. But all I know is I really liked the last couple episodes. I know we didn't get a chance to talk about last week's because we had our draft coverage last week. But yeah, I really liked everything we got from Moon Knight. I love the way it all played out. I love that little cliffhanger in the post-credit scene. I'm ready for some more. Cora, you haven't really been keeping track of Moon Knight, have you?
Haven't seen it yet, but I'm telling you, the more you guys talk about it, the more I hear murmurs. I want to see it, and I've actually set aside time to watch it in the next couple weeks.
Oscar Isaac is very, very good. If they only let this be like a one-off series, I would be very, very disappointed. Because for one, I think if they drew this character in the MCU, I think it would be a very good thing. I think he'd kill it. I think he's the perfect guy for the role. But also, if they wanted to keep it a series thing and kind of keep it a little ground level, I think that'd be fantastic as well. But again, 6 episodes was not enough. This needed at least 3 more. There's so much more out there you can play with for this character. I really hope.
The chat says that the finale was fine. It did what it needed to do, but my favorite episode was last week, so I'm guessing the week before.
Last week was really good. Again, this is Marvel taking this thing that a lot of people aren't overly aware of and building a great character around it. It's like, WandaVision was about dealing with grief, and all these different standalone things deal with like one aspect or another. This is dealing with like having a multiple personality disorder. And a lot of people have read the comic books were kind of aware of the kind of things that go on between Stephen Grant and Oscar Isaacs and all the different the different personalities that are in there. But it's like you've never really seen that on camera in a superhero, like, ever. So to incorporate that in there and to have some kick-ass action and a kick-ass character that we all like and a really good bad guy in Harrow, it works so well. Like I said, this thing needed to be at least another 2 or 3 episodes long. But it did what it was supposed to do in the end. It leaves me wanting more. And especially with that post-credit scene. Very, very interested to see where they go with this thing moving forward.
Indeed.
But, man, the viewership is jumping all around because for some reason it's just getting really crappy.
Yeah, it's struggling.
Whatever. Yeah, but I don't know. We will power on because we really only have one more thing to talk about. And that is some of our bold predictions. And Lady Cora, exactly what is our next topic?
Well, it's prediction time, gentlemen. Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness at theaters tonight, and rumors are flying all over the internet about cameos and who lives or dies. Jeremy, what are some of your predictions for Doctor Strange?
Well, like you said, is it Tom Hardy? Is it gonna fucking matter? Are you gonna tease me again and take shit away? Commit, you fucking cowards. Anyway, so my predictions are, I think kind of a easy giveaway is my first one was Professor X and the mutants coming back, or not coming back, but being introduced, / the Illuminati. I think, like Frank, you mentioned that is what that might be. That was unmistakably, that was Captain Picard, and you can't fucking tell me it wasn't.
Oh yeah.
Next one is, I think, something else we've kind of mentioned. I said Wanda heel turn. I'm like, she might flip. She might flip on us. I don't know. Because I keep thinking about that when she's like, yeah, you break the rules and here I do it. Bad guy. Yeah. That could be bad. Something I already said in the beginning, Fantastic Four, question mark, because not only mutants, I mean, it'd be really wicked to see Fantastic Four come in, or if this is, like I said, this series or movie, whatever that's coming out with Fantastic Four, if this is maybe a setup for that, I'm cool with that. And then I kind of, well, let me come back around to Wanda. I'll say it's the last one. It's kind of a stretch. I said that Wanda's kids come back, and maybe the White Vision. Because I think that was that setup in WandaVision where she, at the end, she heard the kids again. She was like, kind of like, what? I'm like, maybe that was that starting to unravel. Then maybe they did actually start existing because it's a multiverse. So, I don't know. Last one, which was kind of a stretch because I really didn't have anything else to fucking think of. But I said maybe Vulture or something to do with Morbius. Because he said it had something to do with Spider-Man. I'm like, well, technically this was Doctor Strange, which it was kind of Spider-Man's fault. I don't know. Doctor Strange is the one messing with all this stuff, so I don't know. That was my 5 predictions.
Cora, how about you? Do you have any bold predictions for Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness?
I think something's going to happen with Wanda and Vision. I'm not sure what. Of course, my heart wants them to be reunited and this new Vision to like somehow be in love with her, but I worry that she's going to go mad and he's going to die.
He's going to go Multiverse of Madness.
I don't know. Or they get separated somehow. One gets put in one portal to another universe. They get I don't know. I care more about that than I think than Doctor Strange. Because I want the follow-up from WandaVision so bad. I would say this. There's nothing in the previews. I've watched them. I would not be surprised if there isn't some type of TVA reference. Not necessarily Loki, but something with the TVA.
I'm thinking that too.
So, not sure what. Just a thought.
They did say that the events of the Loki series have caused some things that we're going to see in this movie. Mm-hmm. They didn't say exactly what. So I don't want to. I mean, I couldn't speculate, but that is a possibility.
Maybe Kane the Conqueror. He said he's like He's like, I've had many lives, I'm all over the so.
What if something happens and they're trying to give Doctor Strange a punishment, and the TVA comes in and intercedes, saying, "You can't kill him. You can't do this. He's needed for the timeline." Something like that.
They're meant to reset stuff, right? Not necessarily that Dark.
I don't know. I'm just saying I could see them potentially interfering with something. It seems pivotal for the plot.
I mean, we have
That's my
that like
prediction.
what if thing going on. We have the Sorcerer Supreme Doctor Strange. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
But you, Frank, what are your predictions?
My first one is Christine dies.
I was wondering about that.
I think we all watched What If. Most of us who cared about it watched What If. And that's one of the things that sets Doctor Strange down the path in the animated episode of What If, that sets him down this path that turns him into crazy supreme, crazy guy Strange, is that Christine dies. I think the fact that
your time machine.
I think the fact that they put so much emphasis on her wedding in the first big trailer that came out means that there is going to be something significant about her that is going to impact Strange. Now, maybe it's just the wedding, but in the trailer since then, they've obviously shown some action pieces around outside of her wedding, outside the church. So maybe she dies early on in the movie. That's one thing that makes perfect sense to me. The other thing I think is definitely going to happen, and I thought that it was going to be, before the first trailer came out, I thought that there would be a light reference to these, but just enough to start letting people know that that's where we're going. That's where we're going with the MCU. Now I'm sure it's probably going to be a little bit bigger than that. We're going to see mutants. In some way, shape, or form, mutants are going to come into the MCU in this film. It's not going to be a post-credit scene. It's going to be something significant. And when you see in the first trailer that obviously you've got Charles Xavier there, played so brilliantly, of course, by Patrick Stewart, that they're not just going to bring him in there and not touch on the mutant thing in some significant way. Now, do I think that we're going to see the entire X-Men crew roll in here? Probably not. We might see some weird cameos. I'm still holding out hope, crossing my fingers, that there is just one little quick Logan cameo. Even if it is just some archival footage from like one of their X-Men movies, just one little thing of Hugh Jackman in there as Logan. Just one little touch to let us know that mutants actually exist somehow. But yeah, I think mutants, by the time this movie's over, mutants are going to be full on in the MCU. Now, again, I don't think they're going to play a huge part, but they're going to be introduced in a significant way somehow. The other thing, White Vision post-credit scene. I don't think they're going to use him in the body of the film.
Damn it.
I think there's
I want that so bad, Frank.
So do I. Don't get me wrong, because I'm really curious as to where that goes.
All three of us said Vision. I think we're all hoping for that.
I have a feeling it's going to be a post-credit scene.
That's one person that can ground Wanda. That's what I'm saying. I was worried that, she might start going off the rails, especially now. So maybe, remember, this is like Frank says, it's the MCU of fake deaths.
Don't tell us them through Kratos. He said there's a little spoiler from the red carpet footage. Don't tell us.
Yeah,
there's been spoilers all over the internet for the last week.
I'm not even looking at the chat.
I've been trying to avoid YouTube. YouTube is my primary source of entertainment anymore. I'll go to Netflix and stuff, but I've been very carefully avoiding YouTube. I've even unsubscribed to a couple of channels that I watch a lot to try to avoid spoilers because they've just been putting shit out. And some things have been put in front of my face. I'm not going to go into them. They're very big spoiler things, but.
I just saw one on Twitter before we went live, and I won't say it.
I think White Vision, he's too important of a character to bring him in here. And look, they haven't talked about him at all in the trailers.
I was gonna say they wouldn't have just set him up to not bring him in again. I was hoping for a different vision from a different reality, but I'm like, no, just bring the other.
We want to know what happened to this Vision. He flew off.
Yeah, he was all right.
We don't know where the fuck he went.
That's what I'm saying. You're not gonna have him fly off and then have him pop in for 5 minutes in this movie and then complete him. No, White Vision's they've got plans for him long term.
They wouldn't just bring a character in and then pull them out again. They would never do.
So I think what's going to happen, and maybe, and this kind of leads into like my fourth thing. We have Wanda variants. I think it's clear that we have several different forms of Wanda in this film from what we've seen in the trailers alone. So I think that what's probably happening is, because I can count, I think, at least 4 different variants of Wanda just from the trailers.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a feeling that either towards the end of the very end of the movie or in a post-credit scene, he's going to be the one that rolls in, and it's going to have some effect on Wanda moving forward. But I don't think they've got him in the main body of the film, because why wouldn't they put him in the marketing? The marketing alone has been fucking bonkers. Has let so much shit out. Why wouldn't they have shown it? Yeah, why too much? They've given half the damn movie away already. It's like, I mean, look, it was a big reveal having Patrick Stewart show up and say, "I think we should tell him the truth." Yeah. That's the biggest reveal I have ever seen in a trailer, like ever. So why wouldn't you have him flying around like in a quick cutscene? You know, doing whatever, or even trying to fight Wanda. I don't know. I feel like it's going to be a post-credit scene, because there's going to be Wanda variants.
So bad.
There's going to be Wanda variants, and I think that the Wanda variant that is left when all is said and done, which will hopefully be the good Wanda, I think Vision is probably going to have something to do with, like, having some kind of a conversation, or there's going to be something that happens between him and her in a post-credit scene that sets things up for Wanda and Vision moving forward. For at least Wanda moving forward. That's what I think is going to happen. So we're definitely getting Wanda variants. The other thing,
I worry she's going to try to die saving him.
That'd be a funny role reversal.
She's too popular a character. She's too strong. I don't feel like she dies in this movie. Now, a bunch of the variants might die, but I think that I think that the Wanda that we have come to know up to this point in the MCU, the one that we watched go through all the grieving process in WandaVision, I think the good Wanda's probably going to be alive when this thing is over. The question is how fucked up is she going to be? I think that's going to be a good question moving forward. But because you can't really approach, I mean, does she get her kids back? I mean, you can't really approach that in this movie because it isn't her movie. It's
How can she get them back if they don't exist? That I disagree with you.
They could exist in other realities.
In another multiverse.
Yeah. Because they did have kids in the comics. That could be a joke. So that look, something else, which I mean is based off of a comic. They made that joke in The Walking Dead. They had King Ezekiel and Michonne. They shared a kiss, and it was kind of like it was awkward. And they're like, "Yeah, we're totally not going there." I'm like, "Did do that in comics?" And then like the guy in the show, King Ezekiel drops a line like they kiss, and he kind of goes, maybe in another universe." I'm like, "You mean like the comics? That was clever." You know, they kind of shied away from like, "No, we're not doing that in the show," but. Like, it could. I don't know. Mm-hmm. That's why I think she heard her kids at the end. Like, she was hearing them still because they existed in some other reality. Like Frank said, there could be other Wandas out there.
It's called the Multiverse of Madness. There are several universes out there. Maybe one of these crazy bad Wandas that wants to kill everybody is the one that had the kids, and she just kind of like lost her. You know what? Maybe that's something they could explore. Maybe the Wanda that had the kids in some other universe experienced some kind of postpartum thing, and because she's got the abilities that she had. She didn't just go through some depression like some women do in real life. Maybe she lost the fucking plot.
Maybe.
I mean, because there's already not in the MCU, but there's precedence for that in Logan. When Charles Xavier was having his seizures and stuff, and like all the things were going chaotic. There's a kind of precedence for that. You could approach it in a similar way. So, like, maybe she had some postpartum depression, and because she's Wanda, she's got all these powers, that instead of just making her a little depressed and, you know, instead of doing something, you know, bad like trying to drown her kids in a bathtub, she legit lost her shit. Maybe they worked that in there somewhere. It'd be interesting to see, because they've handled those things pretty well in Marvel, so maybe this is something that something they could use to explain why one of these Wandas went batshit crazy. But I don't know. My other one though. There's a low chance of this happening. A very low chance of this happening. Deadpool. I
love it.
Look, this would be the one to do it. I love it. No, I would be okay with that.
It's got to come in somewhere. He's got to come in somewhere. I mean, it'll happen one of two ways. now, because Marvel, one of the things they've been doing with the last several movies is they have a mid-credit and a post-credit scene. And they'll usually have, every once in a while, they'll have one of those scenes just be kind of like a humorous thing, not really significant to the MCU as a whole, but just a humorous thing. Maybe a portal opens up somewhere and Deadpool sticks his head out and he says a couple of funny things, and then he posts back through the portal goes away. Just enough to let you know that he exists in the MCU now. Maybe not that he exists in the universe where we've had the Avengers and all this stuff, but maybe just saying, okay, guys, I'm here now. Maybe he'll come right out and say it. He'll be like, hey, guys, just want to remind you that I'm part of Disney now, so my movie will be coming out soon. See you later. And then he ducks back into the portal closes, and that's it. That right there, I think, would be great.
I mean, they did have that thing. Someone took there was a video of like Ryan Reynolds' Twitter and his little hand, all thinks that was MCU, here I come. We're like, what are you talking about, Ryan? What do you mean? What are you talking about? Don't say that shit. Maybe that's it.
Yeah, but I don't know. This movie is going to be so damn bonkers as it is. Come on, just bring it on. If I wasn't sure that Jennifer would be waiting at the front door with me with one or all of my firearms, I would go see this movie tonight. Because there's another 2 or 3 showings at my local theater right up the street from where I live.
Oh, you're lucky. The only one for mine was 7 p.m. tonight, so I have to wait till tomorrow night.
Yeah, there was one starting tonight, but I'm like, well, I'm here, so I'll do it tomorrow night.
I'm going Saturday. We've already got our tickets for 2 o'clock Saturday, so I'll be watching it Saturday before I go to work, and then I'm going to try not to talk too much about it on Derailed on Sunday. I'm sure some people are going to bring it up on Sunday. I'm going to try to avoid all the talk and save it for our spoiler discussion on Monday, which, you guys hopefully will come back and hang out with us for that. That'll be about the same time. We usually go live. Probably about 8:15 or so, and hopefully some other people will be able to come join us and have some fun. But, it's so hard to make predictions for a movie that we know is going to be batshit crazy anyway. Because it's basically like, what do I want to have happen? What do I think is going to happen? At this point, I'm like, flip a coin. I mean, at this point, Tom Cruise could actually be in the movie as some variant of Tony Stark. I mean, hey, maybe Goose comes back to life. Talk to me, Goose! Talk to me, Goose!
Yeah. The need for speed!
He flies in on F-16 and then just parachutes out, and then he's like controlling all the Ultron bots because he's a variation of Tony Stark.
Like I said, I swear to God, if he fucking just flips his fucking Iron Man helmet down and he blares Highway to the Danger Zone, takes the fuck off in that suit, I'm gonna be so mad. Like, I see it, because it's very Tony Stark to do that, but I'm like, God damn you. It's almost like, hey, look at me, remember I got my movie? Like, okay.
Yeah, it's going to be... Also, the cameos are going to be crazy. I mean, I've already heard about some of the cameos that are...
They're all probably just for fun, too. It's like, I can't get too attached to it. I'm like, hey, cool, look, it's that guy being... I don't care, because they're probably gone. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I don't want to be in a Shyamalan state of mind when I watch this fucking movie. Like, none of this is... Doesn't matter. Yeah, I'm going to enjoy the fucking ride, but I'm just like, what are we going to hold on to? You already kind of stabbed my fucking heart with Venom. The fuck was that? Damn it.
Yeah. But I don't know. Put it on the comments below. Let us know what you guys think. What kind of crazy shit's going to happen in Doctor Strange?
I had one last thing. You said mutants. I said this ever since Logan. Bring back that girl as X-23. Like when she was in her fucking prime, like in her early 20s. I looked up the actress. She's 17. You could do it.
That would be cool, but I don't think they want to feed off anything that Fox did. I just think they want to start their own thing now.
I don't know. I'm saying if we're bringing mutants into the fold, just
now,
for the love of God.
Now, I say they don't want to feed off anything that Fox did, and who the hell's playing Charles Xavier in this movie?
Well, and also we're talking about this damn Fantastic Four thing coming back too. So
true. So multiverse. I don't know.
I don't know. If you see her walk up on next to Charles Xavier and then just like put those two little fucking blades out of her hands, it's gonna be wild. Yeah, like from the cartoon, like make it when she was like in her prime, like that was cool.
Yeah. But anyway, go down in the comments below. Let us know what you guys think. Let us know what you guys think about any of the stuff that we talked about tonight. What do you think about Dave Chappelle getting tackled on stage? What do you think about John Watts and Justin Lin bailing from their movies that they were in? Fantastic Four and the Fast and the Furious X, Fast X, whatever the hell that movie's going to be. Your bold prediction. What do you think of Moon Knight? Definitely go and let us know. And I think that's a pretty good place to wrap things up since I need to figure out why the hell we've had such weird stream problems tonight anyway. So, I'll say goodbye to my co-host, Lady Cora. Where can the folks at home find you?
Nowhere except here on Thursdays.
Where else do you need to be anyway? Coolest
Exactly.
place on the internet is right here with us. And to my hetero life mate, Jeremy. Where can they find you on the internet, my friend?
I was at the follow Core, who's like, no, we're over here. I'm like, okay, well, I got a laundry list. Give me a second. Not really. Yeah, no, I'm here on Thursdays as well. Also on Mondays when we do big movie releases. This being one of them, so we'll be back here on Monday. Streaming on Tuesdays and also kind of whenever the hell. But Tuesday for sure. That's on Twitch. And it's probably the best place to find all of said updates for all this, because honestly, I may just feel frisky and want to just stream on a Wednesday. I don't know. So it's Grim Tuesday 23 on Twitter, on Twitch, on Instagram, on Snapchat, on MySpace. It's not the same on TikTok, but whatever. I still haven't dealt with that guy. I'm not gonna do anything about it. Yeah, that's I don't want to do that guy's outro. That's pretty much it. It's a great channel. Check that out. It's a great channel. They do reviews as well. So, that's
Check him out, Grim Tuesday 23 across all platforms. Go watch all of his shit. I didn't get a chance to watch the DeLorean build on Twitch because for some reason, I was at work, and Twitch and my phone do not agree for some reason. Because I've tried to watch a couple of different things on Twitch here and there, and for some reason it just doesn't work very well. Maybe I need to update it or something like that. I don't know. But for some reason it just doesn't really want to work. But I'll figure it out. But that's all of you.
Or honestly, I don't know. That's also what sucks. We don't have cameras really, so I couldn't. It's behind me. I could show you all the DeLorean, but I can't. So I apologize.
And as for me, you can find me here every Thursday with my amazing co-host going over all the cool stuff that's happening in the world of entertainment, movies, and television. You can find me on Sundays over the Derailed podcast talking about all the other crazy shit going on in the world around us. That's usually where I deal with all the heavier topics, and I'm sure that Sunday is going to be full of those. And don't forget, you can find us back here Monday. Me, Jeremy, Cora, will you be here Monday?
Yes.
You will be here Monday. Me, Jeremy, Cora, and probably one or two other guests to break down all the spoilers, all the great cameos, all the chaos that we're sure is going to be coming from Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. I want to thank all of you guys who have been stepping up and watching the Downton Abbey videos we put out so far. I didn't expect those to have the reach that they've had, but I mean, thank you all for going and listening to me and Cora blather on about a British soap opera for an hour an episode. I'm really very happy that you guys have done that. I'm very happy that all the people that came in for the
I
first
would
round
do it
draft
anyways,
coverage.
just to sit and talk to you about it. Recording it and having anybody enjoy it is just icing on the cake.
But we've had fun doing that. There's going to be more of those to come, and we're a little bit behind on them right now, but we're going to get them all caught up, and eventually we'll be doing the review for Downton Abbey: A New Era when that comes out here soon. So thank you all that have been coming up, hooking up with the channel. Thank you also to Tour Capture for subscribing in the last week. We very much appreciate that you are around here. I think he's someone from, I think maybe over on Drew's channel. I think maybe he had found us over there. But thank you very much for all of you guys who came in. I know It's Bullsy came in later on. What's going on, brother? MK Kratos, what's going on, my man? TSS2. Rachel's been in the chat doing all the wrench stuff from what we were dealing with earlier in the show. Let's see. Who we got? Louis the 17th has been in here. What's going on with you? Randy Sam was in here earlier. Thank you for coming and hanging out. Who else is in here?